Have you ever found yourself in the middle of a conversation and suddenly you just zone out and you miss key parts of what the other person was saying? This experience is a common example of what I call scattered attention or incoherent attention. And another example of this would be when you're just about to start working on something and you promise yourself that you're just going to completely focus on it. No matter what, you're just going to get it done. And then your phone beeps or rings and pulls you away from the task at hand, completely distracting you, and you totally lose your train of thought. And then you lose track of time and you just check back in and you think, I'm not going to get this done now. I'm just going to have to get back to it tomorrow. So most people might self-diagnose themselves of having some sort of ADD, but in many cases, it could be resolved by just understanding a little bit more about your attention and knowing where your attention is at any given time. But if you don't know where your attention is at any given time, that means that you're not in control of it. And if you're not in control of your attention, you might, get stressed and anxious. And if you learn to control your attention, you'll be able to avoid a lot of stress, anxiety, and you'll even be able to avoid procrastination. So if you're not in control of your attention, you're not in control of your feelings. This can make you feel like you're not in control of your life. But right now, I'm hijacking your attention with this video. And once I have your attention, if I really wanted, I could stir up your feelings in a positive way or in a negative way, depending on what stories I tell you. I could make you feel good or it could make you feel stressed or bad, just depending on what way I'm talking. So most people have weak attention and they get their attention gets hijacked by something negative on TikTok or YouTube, and they get stuck in that experience of focusing on what's going wrong with life. So your phone is consistently hijacking your attention. And the mission of this video here is, if you're willing to take it, is to help you to become more tuned into your attention. And in doing this, you will improve the quality of your life. And hopefully you might realize that it's not a disability that you have, but a hidden ability that we can actually tap into and use on purpose. And I hope from this video that you can take away a better understanding of how you can reclaim your ability to move your attention on purpose. So for me, it's more about having a disciplined attention and really knowing where your attention is all of the time. When your mind is busy, you might notice that, if somebody knocks at the door or there's a family are over, you get distracted from something external happening outside of you. And you notice that you don't worry about your problems in the same way when there's other people around or when you're kept busy. And this is because your attention is being entertained at some level. If what you're looking at is not entertaining you enough, your attention will drift off and it will drift away from it and onto something else that is more entertaining. And this could be something negative, because negative stuff is entertaining at some level, or otherwise your mind wouldn't focus on it. So whatever you pay attention to will stir up some feelings. And some people focus on problems, and sometimes they get what I call stuck attention, where their focus gets stuck on something external that's causing them to feel stressed for long periods of time. And I'm always looking for this in people to see what are you paying attention to that's causing you to feel that way, and how are you making sense of it inside your mind. So sometimes your attention will get stuck on, maybe it could be even an old story that creates a low mood, or maybe it's a future story that hasn't happened yet and it's stirring up some anxious feelings. If you lose track of your attention and it drifts inside your mind and you start telling yourself stories, you can stir up bad feelings. And this happens to people a lot of time. They're going through whole days and weeks and months and years like this, and you might not even be aware that you're doing it. It depends on where your attention is, and it depends on where your attention is stuck. There's only one person that should be in control of your attention, and that's you. It's your attention. And right now, I can tell you to go ahead and put your attention on your right foot. And when you do that, I'm not moving your attention. You are. I'm just telling you to move your attention to your right foot. And you might believe that you're not in control of your attention, but that cannot be true, because if you're paying attention to me right now and I'm holding your attention, that's the same reason that you're probably still here, is because you decided to pay attention, and you're probably staying here is because I'm providing you with some value and hopefully some entertainment as well at some level. But who's deciding to stay here? It's you, right? So why don't you decide from now on how much attention that you give to everything in your life? And I'm going to show you a little tip, a little kind of a concept of way of looking at things that you can visually be able to keep this concept in mind. So you could pretend that you're not in control of your attention. That can't be true. It's like saying that you're not in control of the car when you're driving it, so you just let go of the steering wheel. And you could do that, but I don't recommend it. It's not a good idea. But if you do it, you know what's going to happen. The car's going to drive off the road. Your attention kind of works the same way. You are in control of what you pay attention to. And sometimes you just might forget that you are. And I'm here just to help you to reclaim your attention, to remind you that it is a process that you can tap into. So let's create a little metaphor then that you can use to practice with. So become aware at any given time after you watch this video. Just get a kind of a concept of where your attention is at any given time during the day. And just imagine that you have a little frame like this in front of you, in front of your field of vision. And imagine this little frame represents your attention, how much of the world you see. And this is roughly about how wide your attention is. It's actually less than this. And you're only ever seeing about this much of the world at any given time. And this frame, this narrow band of attention, this real estate, it's precious real estate. Whatever you put in this frame will define your quality of life. So my suggestion is to regain control over what you put this frame on and get into the habit of practicing moving it onto something that makes you feel better. So just become aware of your attention. And if you do this, you're going to have a major advantage over everything in your life and over everybody, because just becoming aware of it is a major advantage. So see if you can become aware of your attention and see if you're aware that it's stuck. If your attention is scattered, maybe it's just all over the place, incoherent. You're not really sure where it is. It's on one thing and then it's on another thing and then it's inside your head. So see if you notice if your attention is either stuck on something outside or if it's stuck in your head. Or maybe you just don't have a clue where it is at any time. Whatever you put your attention on, you should always keep in mind that on the outside of that small frame is everything else that you're not focusing on. So there's an infinite amount of information, an infinite amount of things on the outside of that could possibly make you feel better, that you might not be aware of if you're not aware that this is a small band of information that you're looking through, which is called your conscious awareness and your attention. And there could be something outside of this frame that could possibly make you feel better. But if you're not aware of it, or you're not aware of this concept, you might never have even known this until now. So if you're not fully in control of what you pay attention to, you're not fully in control of your life. Other people, they can hijack your attention and you may end up paying attention to what they're doing with their life instead of your own. Or if you lose track of your attention and end up going inside your mind, and you may even be having this full conversation with yourself about what you're supposed to be doing tomorrow, or what you did last week, or what other people are doing, and your mind just might be running off in different directions. Or you might even be thinking about what the other person is doing in your life or somebody else is doing, which can be a complete waste of time. And you may lose out on some precious opportunities to take action on some of the important things that you could be doing. Imagine what you could do with all that time if you had control over your attention and you could just say, I'm deciding to put my attention on this and keep it there. And if it drifts off, I'm going to move it back. And again, I will remind you that most people aren't even aware that this is happening to them, because it's usually a totally unconscious process. And you'll see people just completely going around and they're definitely not in control of their attention in most cases. And my purpose in this video is to help you to become more aware of this. And if you're aware of it, then there's something that you can do about it. If you're not aware of it, then the unconscious process will be in total control of your life, and it'll be in total control of your happiness. And you'll feel more like you're just going around on autopilot. So start paying attention to this metaphor and see if you can notice what your attention is on, what you're paying attention to in every moment. And then ask yourself, is what I'm paying attention to making me feel good or bad? Could I move my attention somewhere else that could possibly make me feel better? And once you become aware of this, you can't ignore it. It's something that will stick with you for the rest of your life. And if you apply it to your life and practice with it, it will definitely improve your life immensely. So here's some action plan that you can have in place, something that you can do after this to keep in mind. Regularly check in and think about what's inside that frame. And it could be something on the TV, and you have to ask yourself, is this adding value to my life? You know, am I just sitting here with this kind of frozen on the TV or on Facebook or TikTok? And then after that, then just kind of spend 5 minutes a day purposely tracking your attention for 5 minutes. Play around with it like a child. Like you have this frame in front of you and you're just moving it on and off things, and from one thing to another on purpose, like just like a kid. And intentionally move your attention to something positive or neutral that makes you feel better. Because on the outside of that, all the problems can still be there and you can still be kind of semi-aware of them, but you're not going to be stuck thinking about them all the time, because there could be something better you could do with your time. So thank you for watching, and start applying this practice today and take control of your attention for a better quality of life. By actually engaging in these challenges, you can start to reclaim your attention and improve your focus, leading to a more controlled and fulfilling life.